Hello everyone. In this video we will be remembering the formulas for finding the perimeter and the area of different shapes. We are going to start off with things that we've talked about many times before, and then we're going to talk about some new stuff as well. So we're going to start with the perimeter and the area of a square, and then we're going to talk about rectangles and right triangles, and then at the end we're going to talk about circles, which we have talked about before, but we need to remember because we haven't talked about them as much. So let's get started with a square. So as you remember, a square, I only need to be given one side. By knowing one side, I know all sides, because that's the definition of a square. If the sides need to be all equal. If one side is A, then all sides are A. So to find the perimeter, I just need to add all four of them together. So A plus A plus A plus A. Yeah, that's 4A's. So basically that's like saying 4 times A. And then to find the area, I need to multiply one side with the other side. So A times A. Now, we're going to use this formula as follows. If you see a square that I give you has a side of 6, to find the area, you are going to plug this number into these formulas. Let's say I ask for the perimeter. Well, you can choose if you want to use this or this. I'm going to choose to use this, so I'm going to erase the rest. So, in the place of A, I'm going to place 6. So that would make this 24. Very simple. To find the area, again, wherever A, place 6. So here it would be 6 times 6, which would make 36. Great. Next up we have a rectangle. Now with the rectangle, we know that if one small side is B, then the other small side is B also. And if one big side is B, then the other big side is also. Basically what I'm trying to say is that the small sides are the same and the big sides are the same. So to find the perimeter, I just need to add all of these together. So B plus C plus C, which is basically like saying 2 times B plus 2 times C. So that's what I'm going to use here. And then to find the area, I multiply one small side with one big side. So let's say here that, well, I'm going to delete these. Let's say that the small side was 10 and the big side was 50. Now I'm going to replace these numbers in the place of the letters that I put them. So wherever B, I'm going to put 10, and wherever C, I'm going to put 50. So 10 instead of B and 50 instead of C. Find the perimeter. So 2 times 10 makes 20, plus 2 times 50 makes 100, and I get 20 plus 100, which gives me 120. So that would be the perimeter of this shape, this rectangle. And the area would be 10 times 50, so 500. Next up, here we have a right triangle. When we have that to find its perimeter, I basically need to add all of its sides. But to find its area, what I need to do is I need to multiply the two smallest sides and then take whatever I find and divide it by 2. So let's give an example. Let's say this side is 3. Let's say this side is 4. And this side is 5. So wherever D, I'm going to place 3. Wherever E, I'm going to place 4. And wherever F, I'm going to place 5. That would make the perimeter 12, because 3 plus 4 plus 5 makes 12. Next up, we said specifically that we have to multiply the two smallest sides. So 3 times 4. So 3 times 4. Now 3 times 4 gives me 12. And I need to divide this by 2. 12 divided by 2 gives me 6. Perfect. Next up, we're going to talk about the circle. The circle, as we've said many times before, is all the points that are the exact same distance from a single point, the center. What does that mean? It means that all the points on this circle are the exact same distance from this center. So it doesn't matter which point you choose. You can choose any point on this circle. And if you measure the distance from that point to the center, it's always going to be the same. So here you can see I'm choosing random points and just drawing the distance to the center. You can see that they are equal. They're all the same. None is longer or shorter. They're all the same. This distance from the center to the circle, or the other way around, is known as the radius. And that's why it is symbolized with an R. So, to find the perimeter of a circle with a specific radius, I need to do the multiplication 2 times pi. Remember that pi is equal to 3.14. So I need to do 2 times 3.14 times the radius. And then to find the area, I need to do pi times r times r. Now because these are multiplications, this is the traditional way of writing these. 2 pi r is the most traditional way of writing the perimeter. And here it would actually be pi r squared. That would be the most traditional way to write this. Like this, pi r squared. But instead of that, we're just going to leave it as pi times r times r. But because these are multiplications, we can do whichever we want first. So instead of this, doing 2 times pi and then times r, I can first do 2 times r and then multiply that by pi, which might be a little easier if r is not a decimal number. And here I don't have to do pi times r first. I can do r times r first and then multiply that by pi. So let's give an example. Let's say that here we have a circle that has a radius of 9. So what we would do is here in these formulas, wherever r, we would plug in 9. So for example, here the perimeter would be 2 times pi times 9, and here it would be pi times 9 times 9. And we can also substitute. Instead of pi, we can write 3.14. And then we can do that multiplication. So here, again, as I said, here, instead of doing 2 times 3.14, we could do 2 times 9 first, which could be easier to avoid the multiplication with doing 2 multiplications with decimal numbers. But if you want, you can do it in any order you want. So here, for example, we would do 2 times 9 makes 18. So I'd get 18 times 3.14. And then I would do this multiplication somewhere on the side. So I would get 3.14 times 18. 8 by 4 gives me 32. And there's my result. Well, actually, the decimal point would go, since there are two numbers to the right here, there should be two numbers to the right here, so 56.52. And that's our result. Now here we would do 9 times 9 first, and what we get is 3.14 times 81. And then we would do this multiplication somewhere on the side. So 3.14 times 81. And what we'll get here is 2,512. And add, then we get 4, 3, 4, 5, 2. The decimal point would go here. So my result would be 254.34. 254.34. So that's how I find the perimeter and the area of a circle. Tomorrow we are going to practice with each of these shapes by solving all sorts of problems. So I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Goodbye.